I never thought my lowest point would come at a baby shower. Not mine, not yet, but the one I helped plan for the woman I once called my best friend. Picture this: pink balloons, a banner that read "Welcome Baby," tables covered with cupcakes, gifts stacked in pastel wrapping paper. Everyone was laughing, snapping photos, and clinking glasses of sparkling cider. And me. I stood in the center of it all, smiling so hard my cheeks ached, knowing the ugliest secret of my life was about to explode in this very room. Because that glowing mother-to-be, my so-called friend Lila, wasn't carrying the baby of some man who disappeared. She was carrying my husband's child. Hey beautiful souls, quick pause before I go deeper. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from right now? Drop your city or country. I love seeing how far our community reaches. But back to that night, my hands were steady, but inside, my heart was clawing at my ribs. Because the truth hadn't just fallen into my lap. I had stitched it together piece by painful piece, night after night, clue after clue, until it nearly swallowed me whole. And yet here I was, throwing my best friend a party. Smiling. Laughing. Pretending. To understand why, you have to know where this started. Lila and I had been inseparable since college. We'd survived finals together, shared cheap wine in dorm rooms, gone through every breakup, every career twist side by side. She wasn't just a friend, she was family. My sister in everything but blood. So when she tearfully told me she was pregnant and that the father had bailed, I didn't hesitate. I hugged her. I promised she wouldn't go through it alone. I told her I'd help her raise that child if she needed me to. What I didn't know then was that the man who bailed was my husband, Mark. Mark was charming. Always had been. The kind of guy who could walk into a room and make everyone laugh within minutes. When we first met, I fell hard. He was supportive, attentive, the kind of partner you dream about. And for years, I believed I'd found my forever. But forever was a lie. Because little cracks had started to show. The late nights at work. The sudden trips. The moments he was too tired, too distracted, too short-tempered. I brushed them of marriage is hard, right? Everyone goes through seasons. It wasn't until Lila's pregnancy announcement that something inside me shifted. At first, I was heartbroken for her. She told me she'd been seeing someone casually, but when she broke the news, he vanished. Classic jerk move, I thought. I promised her she wasn't alone. But then came the little slips. She described how he'd comforted her once with a phrase that stopped me cold because it was exactly what Mark always said to me when I was upset. She let slip that he had a particular cologne, the same one Mark wore. And then, one night, when we were planning her baby registry, her phone buzzed. She snatched it up too quickly, but not before I saw the contact name. Just an initial. M. Beautiful souls, what would you do if your best friend and your husband both started looking suspicious but neither had given you hard proof yet? Confront right away, or play it cool and dig deeper? Please let me know in the comments. That's when I knew. Not fully, not yet. But my gut screamed it. And once your gut starts screaming, you can't unhear it. I started watching. Listening. Mark's excuses lined up too perfectly with Lila's mystery man timeline. The nights he stayed out late were the same nights she went quiet on our group chats. Still, I needed proof. I couldn't just accuse them, not without something undeniable. And when the proof came, it broke me. It was a Thursday night. Mark said he was working late. I believed him, or at least I pretended to. Hours passed. Midnight came and went. I couldn't sleep, so I drove aimlessly, at first. But then, as if fate pulled me there, I ended up outside Lila's apartment. And his car was there. I sat in my own car, fingers gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles went white. The lights in her living room flickered. Shadows moved. My stomach turned to ice. There was no denying it anymore. My husband was the father of my best friend's baby. And here's the kicker, instead of bursting in, instead of screaming, I sat there in silence. My tears burned but didn't fall. Because even in that moment, something cold and sharp slid into place inside me. I wasn't going to confront them. I was going to destroy them. But not yet. Not in private. Not in a way they could spin or twist. No, their reckoning would come in front of everyone they loved, everyone who thought their lives were picture perfect. And as fate would have it, I already had the perfect event lined up. Lila's baby shower. I sit in my car with the engine of cold air leaking through the windows. The streetlight paints a halo around the building where I just saw his taillights. My hands are steady now. The shock is behind me. What's left is calculation. I don't go inside Lila's apartment that night. I don't scream. I drive home like nothing happened, and I tuck the memory away where it can harden into a plan. Morning comes, and I move like a woman under oath. I answer emails, make coffee, joke about a client's terrible Zoom background because living in plain sight is my weapon. They expect my tears. They expect drama. I give them strength and secrecy instead. A week later, a small, ordinary thing becomes the first thread I pull. Mark forgot his laptop on the kitchen counter. He leaves the passwords logged in. He's sloppy sometimes. Arrogant men often are. He thinks he's invisible. I open his messages. My fingers don't shake. I see 100 petty lies, but also receipts, a string of dates, a hotel chain loyalty number tied to late-night stays. I copy everything. But receipts aren't evidence unless they connect the dots. I need a witness. I need someone who understands the language of proof. Enter Rosa. Rosa is Mark's old colleague and, unexpectedly, my ally. She's the calm person who fixes conference chaos, the kind of woman who reads patterns in calendars and corporate expense reports. I met her at a fundraiser months ago. She once said to me, "If you ever need someone who sees numbers like they aren't jokes, call me." I saved her number. I never thought I'd use it like this. When I call, she answers on the second ring. "Jenna, is everything okay?" Her voice is a lifeline. I tell her, in fragments. I don't tell her everything. Not yet. But her professional curiosity is immediate. She asks for dates. For names. For anything that looks like a financial breadcrumb. She comes over that afternoon with a thermos and a notepad. We spread Mark's receipts across my dining table. Rosa's eyes narrow and she starts to draw lines. "Look," she says, tapping a chain of hotel stays. "These dates overlap with the nights you said he was at the office. And look at this, transfers to a number registered under Lila's alias." She circles the number like a surgeon marking where to cut. I am listening, and the walls hum. My heart is an engine at full throttle. Rosa is careful. She's quiet in the way of people who've learned to wield facts, not rage. She tells me what I already suspect and then something more ominous. "Jenna, this isn't just an affair," she says. "It's a loop. Look at these, transfers to her account, then to another card, then cash withdrawals when you're out of town. Somebody is laundering their tracks." My breath leaves me. The affair morphs into theft. The stakes blow open. But even with facts, the world needs a face. A name. A narrative. Money and receipts hum, but people are persuaded by proof that shows up where everyone is watching. That's when I remember my mother. She died 2 years ago. She was the quiet sort, not dramatic, but she left me one strange, stubborn thing. A locked safe deposit box and a note in her script. "If you ever need to show them you weren't imagined, use the things I left." I never opened the box after the funeral. I thought it was the sort of inheritance women joke about, old letters, a locket, recipes. The lawyer says it's time. At the bank, the box is heavier than it should be. Inside are 2 items I don't expect, a set of photographs from family events I forgot existed, and a leather folder with my mother's business cards and one card folded small, with a bank contact name penned on the back. My mother worked events for years. She knew people. She also had a quiet gripe about men who used people and left. Her handwriting is a tremble of righteous anger. The card is proof that she suspected things, or at least wanted to make sure I had the tools to protect myself. I leave the bank with the folder pressed to my chest. The photographs are small, the corners worn. One shows Mark and Lila at a picnic 5 months earlier, half smiling at the camera, their knees touching. Another shows Mark at a hotel lobby with a coat draped over his arm, the same coat I once told him was gaudy. Proof is densifying into shape. Rosa rigs a spreadsheet that turns this mess into a map. The transfers, the stays, the overlapping dates, she stitches them into a narrative. She exports files into a folder that rests on my laptop like a loaded gun. Now I have witnesses, receipts, messages, and a pattern that screams collusion. But the story needs one more thing: context. People at showers and family dinners forgive a slip-up. They gasp at an affair, sure, but they sometimes forgive. They don't forgive theft, manipulation, and the systematic deception of a woman who once called someone a friend. So I do 2 things. 1, I contact a private investigator, discreet, professional, and old school. He doesn't want drama. He wants facts. He tracks Mark's business trips to a corporate address that's a shell company. He pulls photographs of Mark sneaking into Lila's building late at night. He gets a video of Lila leaving Mark's car at dawn, looking over her shoulder. 2, I begin to set the stage. I stay close to Lila during the planning of the shower. I volunteer to manage the slideshow. She beams at me with that terrible, naive brilliance of traitors. She confides in me about vendors, about guest lists. I smile and make notes in my phone. I am always within arm's reach when photos are uploaded, when messages ping. Her trust is the gasoline, my phone is the match. If this story is hitting you the way I think it will, you're going to want to subscribe because what happens next will blow your mind. This is not bragging. It's a countdown. Rosa crafts timelines. The investigator delivers footage. I arrange the slideshow playlist like a surgeon arranging tools. I trace the guests who will be their family, friends, people Mark and Lila want to impress. I decide the exact moment the image must appear on the screen. Lila's strength is her confidence. She's smug in a way born of protection. Mark's danger is his belief that his charm will cover every corner. They are both vulnerable because they tell a story that relies on the audience's goodwill. I am changing the audience. I call my mother's lawyer. There is a clause in one of the papers: should I ever need to expose wrongdoing affecting the family, he will assist. My mother's legacy is stranger than I imagined. It gives me legal advice, a conduit to subpoena records, and the warmth of a woman who always told the truth in small, precise ways. Rosa and I practice the reveal in my kitchen. We cue the video to a song Lila loves, then plan the exact second a shot of Mark's car pulls up in the lobby, followed by his entry into her apartment, then a screenshot of his messages saying "Goodnight my love," then the transfer receipts with amounts circled in red. We practice the timing down to the second. There is risk. If anything leaks, if Mark gets wind, he walks. He moves the money. Lila deletes evidence. The investigator warns me, you have a window. Use it. Don't let pride make you wait. I think of my mother's handwriting, the bank contact, the photographs. I think of every small kindness I gave to Lila when she was in tears. I think of Mark's jokes about what a good wife I am. The anger isn't new. It's arithmetic now. My map is ready. The player is set. The audience is assembled. But before the storm, there is one last choice to make. I can confront them. I could send the files anonymously, watch their reputations burn from afar. Or I can do it in front of the people who shaped them, the family who praised Mark's charm, the friends who call Lila brave. I can make the lie collapse where it was built. I choose the stage. And with Rosa and the investigator at my side, and my mother's quiet preparation like a talisman in my pocket, I start writing the script for the baby shower. There is one more thing I whisper into my phone before I leave the house for rehearsal. Where are you watching from, beautiful souls? Drop your city below, I read every 1 inch. Because the world needs witnesses. The day of the shower arrives like any other sunny weekend, but the air feels electric. I move through the venue with the practiced calm of someone who has rehearsed a speech 100 times, only this time, the speech is on mute. Rosa is at my shoulder. The investigator is in the back, a quiet shadow with eyes that don't miss a thing. The room is cheerful, with dishonest balloons bobbing above tables, a table for gifts, and a table for food. Lila flits in and out like a moth that thinks she owns the light. She hugs people, laughs too loudly, posts pictures. Mark walks in later, sloppy with charm, kisses her cheek like a man who thinks he's still untouchable. I breathe. I smile. I fold my hands as if this is a pastime I enjoy. If you thought I'd storm in screaming, think again, the real power is precision. Guests trickle in, family, old friends, colleagues who compliment Lila's taste. People who once praised Mark as witty and kind now wander close, unaware their applause is about to curdle. I'm the one who arranged the slideshow. Of course I am. Who else would know which photos to include that will lull everyone into the perfect frame of mind? First, the cute pictures, ultrasound, sonogram, Lila with a hand on her belly. Then, the montage of support, friends pitching in, Mark being there until the mood is soft and sympathetic. Rosa slides me a paper under the table, a subtle nod. The investigator gives a barely there curl of his mouth. The laptop is cued. The AV tech is in my pocket, he thinks he's running bridesmaids' photos. I give the signal. The projector hums. Lila beams as the first slides pop onto the screen. Pastel filters, smiling faces, the soft music she loves. People are in unison. It's the exact emotional temperature I want. Then the timing shifts. The montage shifts from warm to incriminating. A photograph. Mark signing a card at a hotel reception. A screenshot, a hotel booking with late checkout. A short clip, Mark's car pulling up to Lila's building at 2:14 a.m. A message, "Good night my love. Can't wait for tomorrow." The words hang on the screen in bold. Gasps start small, like pebbles. Then they become waves. My mother drops her napkin. Lila's smile phrase. I stay steady. I let the evidence do the speaking. Receipts, timestamps, transfer amounts highlighted in red, the investigator's watermark on the corner of a photo proof, not rumor. Lila's face drains out of color. Mark's mouth opens, then closes. He laughs a single, brittle sound, the kind people make when they think humor will fix an actual wound. A woman at the table whispers, "Is that?" Her voice breaks. A cousin stands up, voice sharp. "Mark, is this true?" He stammers, "This is private dash." "Not anymore," I say. My voice is low, a knife sliding through velvet. It's public. The room fractures. People are shouting now. Phones come out, and the click of cameras is like small gunshots. Lila runs for the bathroom and bursts into sobs. Mark steps forward, fury flashing in his eyes like a man with nothing left to lose. He lunges for the laptop. For a heartbeat, I wonder if this is the moment he'll try to destroy the evidence. The investigator is on his feet in a second, moving between Mark and the machine. Rosa's hand lands on my arm, steady as a rock. Mark's fingers skim the keyboard. Someone grabs his wrist. He jerks free. He yells. He points at me like a prophet of his own ruin. "You set this up. You hacked my phone, Jenna. You planted things. This is illegal." The word is a grenade. Heads swivel. Questions bloom. Where would you stand in this moment, beautiful souls, with the woman who exposed them, or with the accused? Drop a fire if you'd stand with me, and hit subscribe because what comes next is the part people try to censor. He screams accusations like a practiced liar. He scans the room for allies. For a second, my heart drops. This is the unexpected crisis I knew could come. If he convinces even one influential guest he's a victim of a frame job, the narrative flips. But I have preparation he can't fake. The investigator steps forward, calm, official. We have chain of custody, he says. Receipts, timestamps, bank transfers, corroborating hotel logs, security footage from the lobby. He drops a folder on the buffet table. People lean in, hungry for confirmation. An aunt clutches her pearls. But, he's always been such a good man. The sentence hangs like a plea for denial. Rosa takes my cue, voice like a bell. Look at the pattern. It's not one night. It's a network. The transfers go from Mark to a Shell account, then to Lila. The timestamps match hotel stays and his so-called business trips. This isn't a setup. It's a conspiracy to hide a relationship and funnel support under the table. Mark paces like an animal in a cage. He's scrambling now. He pulls out his phone, starts deleting messages, a frantic, useless attempt. I stand up and walk toward him slowly. I let everyone see me. My face is blank and sharp. You tried to hide this. You lied to every table in this room. You lied to me. Someone records me with a phone. The video will live forever. Then Lila does something I didn't expect. She storms out of the bathroom. Her hair is wet with tears, mascara streaks her cheeks. She meets my eyes and, in front of everyone, she screams the only thing a partner and her co-conspirator might choose when they feel cornered. You're crazy. You've been jealous. He pulls out his own phone and dials. The sound of his call rattles the room. He speaks into the phone, urgency in his tone. I can't hear the other end, but I read his lips. Get me legal now. Call Marcus. Call anyone. The investigator looks at me, not alarmed, but alert. We have a window, he says. But you may need to move faster than you thought. They think they're done. But powerful people can erase consequences if they move first. Are you ready for the fallout? Because I wasn't, and yet I have no option but to keep going. The party collapses into chaos. Some guests leave. Others stay, whispering, recording, re-watching frames on their phones. Lila collapses into a chair, sobbing loud. Mark walks out like a wounded king, not defeated yet only repositioning. I stand in the wreckage of my social life, the woman who built the room now watching it fall apart. For a moment, the temptation to run is real. But the investigator is immediate, by my side, checking evidence. Rosa squeezes my arm. I sit frozen, the email burning my screen. For a second, I almost believe their story. That I've overstepped. That maybe, in my fury, I did too much. That's exactly what Mark wants. Rosa reads over my shoulder, steady as always. He's bluffing. Truth isn't defamation, Jenna. Evidence is your shield. But you need to brace yourself, he's going to go dirty. And he does. By midweek, his friends are whispering to mutual circles. Lila plays the victim, spinning tales of me as a jealous woman who always wanted Mark to herself as if I planned her pregnancy out of spite. People who once hugged me at dinners now side-eye me at the grocery store. The shift is brutal. Overnight, I'm not just betrayed. I'm smeared. But the real gut punch comes at work. My boss calls me in. We've had concerns, he says carefully, sliding a folder across his desk. Inside are screenshots from anonymous emails claiming I falsified the evidence at the shower. Anonymous, but I know exactly whose fingerprints are there. The next morning, swollen-eyed but sharpened, I meet with the investigator. They're trying to bury me, I say. I need more than proof. I need a weapon they can't twist. He nods. Then we go deeper. And deeper means risk. We revisit financials, this time tracing not just Mark's payments to Lila, but connections to a hidden account. Buried in the statements is something shocking, money funneled not just to Lila, but to another woman, and dates that overlap perfectly with his business trips abroad. Mark wasn't just unfaithful. He was running multiple lives, and one mistake in that web was about to become my salvation. But before I can celebrate, Mark strikes again. I get served with actual court papers. He's suing me for emotional distress and reputational damage, backed by witnesses willing to testify on his behalf. Witnesses, plural. And when I scan the list, my stomach twists. 2 of my friends are on it. Women I thought would defend me. Women who drank wine in my kitchen. His file also contained photographic evidence of him entering after hours, and once, slipping out with Lila. Corporate property in his hands. It's not just cheating anymore. It's potential fraud. Theft. That's when an unexpected ally appears. A coworker, quiet, overlooked. She pulls me aside at the copier. I saw him doctoring expense reports, she whispers. I didn't say anything, but, he's sloppy. This is the moment in every story when a hidden voice tips the scale, when the wall cracks from the inside. With her testimony and the investigator's file, I suddenly have leverage Mark can't spin into jealousy. Fraud is fraud. Companies don't protect employees who drag them into a scandal. But here's the twist, if I move too soon, I look vindictive. If I move too late, he crushes me in court. So I wait. One more night of silence, one more night of fear clawing at my chest. Then, at the 11th hour, I slide the evidence across the desk of Mark's company's compliance officer. I don't need drama this time. I need proper procedure. By Friday, the silence cracks. Mark storms into the house, face red, voice sharp. What did you do? He spits. He waves a letter, corporate header, bold type. He's been placed on leave pending investigation. His access card revoked. Laptop seized. For a man built on charm and appearances, losing his corporate mask is like ripping his skin off. You ruined me, he roars. I don't flinch. No, Mark. You did that yourself. I just held up the mirror. The fallout comes fast. His company doesn't play games with fraud. HR calls employees in. Expense reports are audited. Co-workers whisper, then scatter like rats from a sinking ship. And in the middle of it all, Lila calls me. Her voice cracks on the line. Jenna, please, you've made your point. Don't destroy him. Don't destroy us. I almost laugh. Us. She still clings to the idea that her stolen life matters more than the wreckage they left me in. Audience, would you answer her call with mercy, or let her drown with him? I choose silence. So when the whispers turn to headlines, executive suspended amid fraud investigation, I don't hide. I don't deny my part. I let people connect the dots. And connect them, they do. At the grocery store, the side eyes fade. People lean in, whispering, good for you. Rosa's friends, my old co-workers, even strangers online, they rally. Comments flood in, she deserved better. He played himself. That reveal at the shower? Iconic. The narrative is mine again. Then comes the day of reckoning. The baby shower may have been round one, but this is the final clapback. Mark's disciplinary hearing. A sterile conference room. Suits lined up, files stacked, voices cold. He sits across from them, sweat beading on his temples. And me. I sit outside, waiting. Not as his wife anymore, those papers are already filed, but as the woman who made sure the truth reached the right hands. When he finally emerges, His face is pale. He doesn't look at me. Doesn't speak. Just walks past, shoulders slumped. That's where my choice comes in. Do I cut them all off completely, or extend a hand where it matters most? What would you do, beautiful souls? Help the child of your betrayers, or let them sink with their choices? I choose the middle road. Quietly, discreetly, I ensure that the child won't go without essentials. Not through Lila, but through channels that guarantee the baby has food, clothes, a chance. Because here's the truth, revenge is sweet, but compassion is power. Months pass. My life rebuilds, piece by piece. I sell the house that once held whispers and lies. I travel. I rediscover passions I'd buried under marriage and friendship. And one night, scrolling through old photos, I find a picture of my mom and me. She's laughing, arms wrapped around me, eyes shining. For the first time since she died, I feel her presence not as loss, but as strength. She would have been proud. Not just of the revenge, but of the woman who refused to stay broken. So here's where this story closes. Thank you for taking this incredible journey with me, beautiful souls. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button right now and tell me in the comments, which part of this revenge hit you the hardest? Was it the baby shower reveal? Or the corporate takedown? And if you've ever been betrayed and come back stronger, leave your story. I read every single one, and our community is built on sharing strength.